Welcome to next part of the book Hyperfocus, chapter 0.5. How to better focus on this book. Reading this book is your first chance to put your focus on the test, and the more attention you can dedicate to it, the more you will get out of the time spent on it. Let's begin on practical note with 7 ways to focus more deeply while reading. But first, a quick comment. If I have learned one thing from my research, that's that the productivity is highly personal. Everyone is uniquely weird and different routine. As a result, not all productivity tactics will mesh comfortably with your life. Not to mention the fact that you may simply not want to follow some of the advice I offer. Experiment with as many of these focus tactics as you can and adopt whether work for you. First, put phone out of your sight. When your mind is even slightly resist a task, it will look for more novel things to focus on. Our smartphones are a great example. They provide an endless streams of bite-sized, delicious information for our brain to consume. As I'll discuss later, distraction and interruptions are infinitely easier to deal with before they become temptation. Start seeing your smartphone for what I really a productivity black hole that sits in your pocket. To focus on this book, I recommend leaving your device in another room. It may take your brain a few minutes to adjust to the not having your phone or pad attached to your hip, but trust me, it's worth powering through the initial resistance. It's never healthy to be dependent on something addictive, shiny rectangle device included. Here is a fun experiment to dive deeper into the idea. Over the span of the day or two, pay attention to the number of times you instinctively pull out your phone. How are you feeling and what compels you to reach for it? Are you trying to distract yourself during long elevated ride? Are you avoiding your boring task like updating your quarterly budget? By nothing the time your habitual reach for your phone, you will gain insights into which task you resist the most and how you are feeling in those moments. Second, mind your environment. Look up and around you when you are reading this book. How likely you are to be distracted or interrupted as you read, and this is the place you could go to avoid those distractions. Or you are reading in the environment where you don't have much control, such as on the train or the subway. Modifying your environment is one of the top way to cultivate your focus. The most focus conducive environment are those in which you are interrupted or distracted the least. If possible, move yourself to one of these places, whether it's cafe down the street, the library, the quiet room in the house. 3. Make a distraction list. Distraction will always be present, even if you manage to find a reading spot in a Japanese Zen garden with your phone far away. External distractions are not the only one to blame. Think of the distraction that can come internally, like your brain reminding that you need to pick up groceries. Whenever I have to focus, I adopt two tactics mentioned above, and I also bring a pen and notepad with me. In the notepad, I write even distraction that makes its way into my mind. Things I need to follow up on, tasks I can't forget, new ideas, and so on. Maintain a distraction list as you read will capture the important things that float to the surface of your consciousness. Write them down to make sure they don't slip through the cracks will let you refocus on the task at hand. 4. Question whether this book is worth consuming at all. We consume a lot of things out of habit without questioning their worth, books included. Take a time to weigh the value of your routine consumption. A tactic I find helpful is to view the description of book, TV show, podcast, and everything else as the pitches for your time and attention. Ask yourself, after consuming one of these products, will you be happy with you invested your time and attention? Just as you are what you eat, you are what you pay attention to. Attention is finite and is the most valuable ingredient you have to live your good life. So make sure everything you consume is worth of it. As I will cover in depth later, bringing awareness to what you consume can provide hours of extra time each day. 5. Consume some caffeine before reading. If it's too late in the day, caffeine takes 8 to 14 hours to metabolize out of your system. Consider reading alongside a cup of coffee or tea. Caffeine provides an invaluable focus boost, and while you usually have to pay this energy back later in the day as the drug metabolizes out of your system, the costs are often worth it. Caffeine boosts your mental and physical performance in the virtual every measurable way. Use this energy boost wisely to work on an important task or to read this book. 6. Grab a pen or highlighter. There are two ways to consume information, passively and actively. One of my habits that bother my fiance is that I tear out the first page of every book I read to use as a bookmark. This is only the start of the carnage. I also read with highlighter and a pen in hand so I can mark up the book as I read it. The number of highlights and notes on its page indicates how much I liked it. When I finish the first read, I go through the book a second time, rereading just highlighted parts so I can really process the most valuable nuggets. If I can, I will annoy someone nearby by sharing these bits so I can process them again even more deeply. I hope that while reading Hyperfocus, you will highlight and underline away, pulling the best idea out of its pages and carrying them in your mind to build and act upon later. If I have done a good job in writing it, you will have made a large number of notes. I'd love to see it. My email and other way to contact me are at the back of the book. 7. When you notice your focus wavering, your ability to focus isn't limitless. While you can improve your attention span, it's only a matter of time until it begins to waver. This often takes a form of your mind wandering away from the word on page to the thought in your head. This is perfectly normal and human, and as we will see later, its wandering can be remarkably powerful when harnessed. For now, though, when you do notice your focus fading, step back from this book for a few minutes to do something relatively mindless, whether it's washing your dishes, people watching, or cleaning a house. You will effectively recharge your attention once your focus has been reset. Return to book with a fresh mind, and just as you have kept a distraction list while you read, make sure you have a place to capture ideas that come to your mind during your break. Thank you.